read what I wrote for my dad's funeral, which was 3 years ago, November. He died on my daughter's birthday in October, late October, and then the funeral was in November. But I wrote this, and then I had my son read it, so I wouldn't get emotional, because I knew it would. But I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to read a little passage from Scripture here. The year was 1978. The country had gas lines, a misery index, high interest rates, and a recession. Much like today, back then it was 31 trillion. I'd have to add to that now, but I have it written much like today without the 31 trillion debt. Dad's Sunday suit, Mom's hairdo, they could have been an act on the Grand Ole Opera. Dad was laid off at Greenlee Brother because of the strike. I was out of high school, and as of all young men that age, wondering what to do next. Money was tight, so I got a job at Circle Boring and Machine and worked a year there to try to save for college. Dad got one there as well. So we shared a ride in my 1971 Camaro every cold winter morning in 1978. Dad would come in my room in the morning, what seemed like the middle of the night. John, get up. John, get up. It would get louder and louder with every John, get up. And perhaps I may have grumbled. So I got the fatherly advice, as I often did from him. As you go through life, you will have to do things you do not want to do. I used that advice on him after he had his almost fatal first heart attack at 59. And then he had open heart surgery, his first one. He had 2 heart attacks, 2 open hearts in his life. Some other advice I got from him during those rides together were, one morning we were talking about evil in the world, and I may have been a little bit judgmental, as I often do. And Dad turns to me and says, "We will all face God's judgment in the end." I think that must have been why his favorite hymn was "The Old Rugged Cross." And I think we had him play that after my son read this. He knew what was done there was the deciding factor of what happens to each of us on that day. Not my judgment of others. I could go on for hours with all of Dad's stories, but I will end with this 3 weeks to the day before Dad's last breath. I was sitting with Dad for a couple of hours while Mom was out. That day I witnessed the most pain I had ever seen Dad in. The pain was so intense he was not himself. Almost 2 hours, he finally cries out, "Lord, I can't take much more. Help me." He either passed out from the pain of exhaustion or the Lord answered his prayer. For 63 years you were Dad to me. Thanks. For it will be just a short while till my seemingly inert and unthinking atoms of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen will return to the dust as well, and the made in the image of God parts will join you. Love, your son, John. Okay, I'm going to read from Psalm 23, the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters, in a kayak, in my case. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Alrighty, you all have a good one. God bless.